Good afternoon, everyone. Alistair Nicholson and Andrew McDonald with you this afternoon. We look ahead to the game between University and OHA in the men's competition. Both these teams in the top four. Macca, what are your expectations?
Well, good afternoon, Alistair. Good afternoon, everyone. Should be a bit of an interesting game today. University, well, they have to beat OHA. If they can't beat OHA today, then I'll tell you what, I reckon their season's almost done as well.
Last time I did a broadcast with you, you said Canterbury was done and dusted, and today you're putting it all on the line for University.
Well, I think they need to be able to beat OHA. If they're going to, the two form teams at the moment are certainly Northwest Grads and Derwent, and basically University today, they need to make sure they convert their goals and really have a crack at Aaron Williams, the goalkeeper for OHA. So today should be fireworks.
OHA made a good start to the year. You don't think they're part of the picture anymore?
Well, I think Sam Cambridge is certainly going to add a lot of potency to their front line. He's quite quick. He really has a bit of a crack, actually. And we know we've spoken about Daniel Sproul, and he needs to get more ball inside the attacking 25. But the big issues for OHA have been poor penalty corner defence, and really, in some regards, they haven't converted enough of their penalty corners in attack. So at either end, really, they need to improve.
There's the University lineup for this afternoon's game. Adam Clifford, number one, had 9 goals he scored in the first 4 games. He's gone a bit quiet the last couple of weeks. He hasn't scored. Could be a big day for him today.
Well, I would have thought that the coach, Rodney Clifford, today, he'd be putting some real pressure on Adam Clifford, and he'd be saying to him, look, you need to improve. He'll be putting some pressure on Tony Murgatroyd. We've heard that Ollie Close has got a bit of an injury with his finger, so he may not be playing today, and they'll miss him if he's not on the field. So really, it'll be a pretty tight one.
I did see Ollie Close earlier around the building, and he had his sticks over his shoulder, so hopefully, I'd imagine they'd give him right up to the last minute to prove his fitness.
Well, they would, because they need him to play well, and we know he's good inside the attacking 25, so if they can, they'll put him on.
Well, tipping's become a big thing in recent weeks. Macca, who are you with today?
Well, I think University, but she's only just.
All right, I'll stick with you there. I'm going to go for University as well. It's my great pleasure to welcome Angie Ockenden to the broadcast. Down to you, Ange.
Hello, Alistair, and hello, Andrew. Yes, it's going to be another good game today. Note that you two are tipping University. I think I'm going to put my money on OHA today. Speaking to the coaches beforehand, spoke to Daniel Sproul. One of the things he thought of his team over the last few weeks is that they've been lacking some energy. He thinks they've been a bit flat. So one of the things that I think we'll see from them is that they are going to be a bit more energetic. He wants them to close down between the lines. There's too much gap between each line, so they've been working on that. And he also wants them to make sure that their game is a much shorter game rather than hitting the ball so long. Rod Clifford at the other end, basically he said to me, look, it's about time we put together a consistently good game, and that's what he wants to do. He said they've been terribly inconsistent this year, started off well and really have fallen into a bit of a patch. So he's concerned about that. He's also concerned about their penalty corners. Andrew mentioned OHA, but Rod Clifford for Uni says that really in defence and attack, penalty corners have let Uni down. And he's also concerned about their decision-making up front. And Andrew mentioned the lack of Ollie Close today. He is going to start on the bench, but he's unsure whether he will be playing, and I guess that depends on the way the game goes. So, look, I think it's going to be really close, but as I said, I think OHA might just, for my money, might just get over the line.
Thanks, Angie. She's been right in the past, Macca. Let's see how she goes today. Jake Morton is a late withdrawal for OHA. He's battling a shoulder problem, so he's not taking his part in the team. There are the two teams lining up and shaking hands, exchanging pleasantries, but rest assured, when that whistle blows, it'll be pretty fiery, I reckon, Macca, because both these teams are in the top 4 and they want to prove that they're a real contender this year.
Yes, Alistair. Well, I'd like to take Angie's money, actually. Even if that was the only reason, just so I could take her money. But anyway, I think it is going to be interesting that Daniel Sproul set out to really start quite lively, and I think the person that he'll be sort of really demanding sets that tone and purpose right from the start. I've got no doubt it'll be Sam Cambridge in the middle there. For OHA, he is a real live wire, so he spends more time diving than he does almost in control of the ball. He's that energetic, so you can be assured he'll set that pace.
Adam Clifford wearing the captain's armband gets the game underway. Here's Murgatroyd. And Clifford was dispossessed. Now, Matt Demden is playing for University today. He's wearing the red and white headband. He's come into the team. And here he is. in defence.
Turnover already.
Wolford works the ball around. Not enough on that for Edwards, but Edwards gets another go. Players put their bodies in and University will come up with the ball. Murgatroyd moved it on really quickly. He needed Flash Gordon, not Bryce Bowen, but it will be a University ball. No, it's going OHA's way. I thought Bryce Bowen was motioning as if to take the free.
Well, this is the player that I think in some regards for OHA needs to play well today. Simon Moore, in my opinion, I'm sure that Rod Clifford has set out to try and attack through him. So we have to play a pretty good game today, I would have thought.
There's the man Andrew McDonald's talking about. Moore works his way forward. Looks for Daniel Sproul, who knocked it on.
Loose control there too from David Wolford. Got it back.
Wolford wants to get on with it. Sproul's drifted forward. Can he keep it in play? He does. Lovely stuff, Daniel Sproul. How does it fall for the University defence? Wolford's coming again, though. Really kept it alive there, Daniel Sproul.
Well, that's a good sign, too, for the club. If he can get the ball inside the attacking 25 more often, there's a high chance that it'll end up being a goal.
Salt and Edwards combined. Now Salt puts it inside the circle.
You can see that sun, Alistair, at the moment. It'd be quite difficult for the University goalkeeper, Warwick Oliver. It's going to be difficult for him if any balls come towards him high. There's no doubt he'll be facing into the sun. Goalkeepers don't tend to like that very much, and they certainly don't enjoy it.
It's a hard enough job as it is, Macca, goalkeeping. Simon Clifford. Gillespie in the end. Demden.
Good outletting there from University. Transfer the ball around the back pretty well then.
Off the stick of Clifford. The ball goes out of play. Here's the co-captain of OHA, Simon Moore.
Oh, risky pass. Not controlled.
So a uni ball just inside their attacking 25. Bit of a scramble out there, but OHA come away through Dylan Salt. McCambridge back to Salt, who goes back to McCambridge.
Well, good to see Dylan Salt getting forward there from flank half. And that one
is extremely dangerous. It's hit the player in the head there. That's McCambridge, isn't it? Right on the chin by the looks of it. Friendly fire.
Yep, no claret, so I think he might be all right.
Just determined to get it on quickly there, Dylan Salt, and he's taken his teammate out. And full credit to Sam McCambridge getting up so quickly. He's really copped it there. Demden couldn't keep the ball in. Kaiser, Edwards, now back to Moore. Sproul again moves it on quickly. Salt, Murgatroyd.
Yeah, it's too loose there from Dylan Salt. You're going to run through 3 University players. You need to have a bit of purpose about you.
Interception by Jono Salt. Jocelyn was there for University. Back in the team this year, Will Jocelyn.
Oh, good intercept there, well done.
Simon Clifford.
Yeah, interesting there, Sam McCambridge didn't jump to the ball first, and Simon Clifford was able to get in there and read the play.
Jono Salt sends it out to the right for Dylan Salt.
Oof.
Pressure applied by Gillespie, but Salt comes away with it. He's got to get past Jocelyn. Works it to Wolford, who also has Sproul. Jocelyn, terrier-like. Moore needs to go again. Clifford there, Bowen and Edwards. Players committing themselves to the ball at the moment.
Yeah, well, both teams not handling the ball all that well at the moment.
Here's Sproul, a man who will handle it well. And there's the first goal of the game. He put the ball to a dangerous position. And University has conceded the first goal, and Kurt Mackey is on the board for OHA.
Well, isn't it interesting that the person who makes the pass, little glance then, he saw that there was a bit of space there, and really just was a perfect cross, and just at a speed, nice and flat as well, so it was easily deflected and was well finished. Adam Clifford now receives the ball. In pursuit with Simon Moore.
So Gillespie uses Jocelyn. Through it goes, unattended.
Well, it was a good opportunity there for University to get a deflection away. Aaron Williams, the keeper for OHA.
Moore uses the goal scorer, Mackey. And Warwick Oliver, pleased to see that one go past him. Nick Clifford gave it straight to Sproul.
One of the qualities of Daniel is that when he gets the ball, he's so quick to release it. He doesn't tend to run the ball too much. And you can see him directing traffic out there at the moment. Taking on the responsibility of a playing coach is not easy.
There's a bit of chat here by the looks.
OHA have got Zane Wright on the bench, an ex-national player. And he's assisting Daniel whilst he's on the field.
Looked like a card there from Dean Williams for one of the OHA players. Ward uses Demden. Now Kaiser, Edwards, under lots of pressure here.
Yeah, right decision. Have a stick obstruction there by Anthony Murgatroyd. Prevented Edwards from getting at the ball.
Moore. Dangerous pass. Edwards has to work hard. He does well. Now Kaiser. Knocks it on. Bolton.
Well, better ball control at the back there for OHA, but if I was Rodney Clifford right now, I'd be saying to myself, look, I really want to see us be a bit more aggressive when OHA are knocking the ball around the back. They're a little bit passive.
Nick Clifford raises that ball. OHA with the early goal here. Daniel Sproul set it up. Kurt Mackey put it away.
Good tackle. Good tackle from Simon Clifford then. Needed to be, because Daniel Sproul made a pretty quick release then.
We've seen a bit of this already, Macca. The ball just seemingly aimlessly hit from one end of the field to the other.
Well, it is a trait that University do a bit. They're trying to put pressure on the opposition team to come out of their defence, and then they can turn them over like they have now. So basically what they're doing is saying, okay, the dangerous thing for you, OHA, is you have to work the ball from defence through our front press, and if you don't do it effectively, then we'll roll you over. So sometimes this is what University does do.
Moore. Probably be an OHA ball again here. No, Clifford.
Ooh, dangerous ball.
Mackey. Ward got a stick in there. Edwards has a go. Jeremy Edwards. Demden clears it out. Murgatroyd. Nice stuff from Murgatroyd. Clifford couldn't control it though. Kaiser.
That's the second one he's missed now, Alistair. He needs to be able to retain possession in those situations. That's what he's in the team for. He's got to be able to build attack from difficult situations.
John O'Salt is going to take it. Uses Kaiser. Falls well for Bolton. Angus Bolton. Murgatroyd wins it back for Uni. Needs to get past Kaiser. Urgency from Tony Murgatroyd because he wanted to move it on quickly and finds his teammate in Hurst. Hurst cuts back to the left.
Yeah, well done, Hurst. Was able to find the foot there of the opposing defender. So, first penalty corner opportunity for University, and a real test, I suppose, in some regards here for Aaron Williams. Here's Hurst, little roll back, and you can see just finds the foot of Dylan Salt. I think it is inside the defensive circle. So, as a defender, your job there really is to make sure you don't give away soft penalty corners. Daniel Sproul won't be happy with that. Pressure now on the penalty corner defence set up.
Ward lets it go. Gillespie shoots. The follow-up from Clifford is a goal.
Well, and good finishing too by Adam Clifford. He got in there with some purpose, in there with some urgency, but you can see how the ball, what happens sometimes when the ball's hit is it rebounds off those pads. And it's a high-density foam, so it comes off at a fair bit of speed, hits the pads, bounces off, and in you go, into space. Adam Clifford. And in some regards, you've got to feel sorry for the goalkeeper in these situations because what he's really relying upon is his other defenders to cover him and to give him some protection in that situation when it happens. But Adam Clifford was in there too quickly and really pounced on it.
1-1 is the score. Demden uses Hurst. Puts the pressure on Moore, and Moore comes away. Interception, though, from Murgatroyd. Jocelyn gave it up. Mackie down the left. But Cambridge wants to put the pressure on Ward here. He does, but Ward comes away with it. Murgatroyd knocks on for Demden. Uni ball.
Yeah, still a little bit untidy. Team's giving away too much possession because of error.
Kaiser takes the free after the ball was knocked out of play. Moore. Dylan Salt.
Yeah, that was a poor press then too, Alistair. Too easy for OHA to come out then. There wasn't a good structure there from University.
It gets past Kaiser here, allows Bowen a chance. Wolford came out hard. Moore it was. Murgatroyd, hell-bent on moving the ball quickly.
Ooh, I don't know about that one. Well, that might have been a penalty corner then. Missed trap, I think, from Simon Moore. Raised the ball and it hit Adam Clifford in the body.
Well done, McCambridge. Can he create something? Has to cross to the right and try and work it to David Wolford. Pressure on Jocelyn here. Frenetic stuff, and OHA has won the ball.
Well, that was some good skill then from Sam McCambridge. He was able to run the ball off the ground, and we talk about the term sometimes 3D skills. His ability to be able to run with it and keep it off the ground.
Chance there for Bolton to put one in the back of the net, but he couldn't do it. Here's Clifford. Ollie close on now, wearing the glove, protecting that broken finger.
That's better from Clifford.
Stolen by John O'Salt though. Bolton, surely a free to OHA.
Yeah, you have to be careful as a defender doing that sort of tackle because umpires can sometimes give you a card. If you do it inside the defensive 25 deliberately, you'll find out that you'll get a penalty corner against. So poor footwork in that situation.
Gillespie in midfield. He was looking for Clifford. It fortuitously lands for him. How is he this time, Clifford? Works it back for Jocelyn on the reverse. No goalkeeper there. And a goal on the board to University.
Well, that'd be really dispiriting, I would have thought, for the OHA team, because Daniel Sproul will be looking back now and saying, well, how can you coach for that? Just a silly little error. The ball spills in behind. Adam Clifford pounces on it. Out comes Aaron Williams. He has now the good vision, Adam Clifford, looks deep, and then in some regards a lucky trap from Will Jocelyn, and then he takes the reverse. Interestingly, look who was there as well. Look who's just hovering near the post there. Oliver Close. He would have made sure of it, and there he was, but good finish there.
So now University, after conceding the first goal of the game, is in front. It scored the last two through Adam Clifford and Will Jocelyn.
Daniel Sproul getting set here for the attacking circle free hit.
Nick Clifford gets on his bike. Cleared out by Hurst. Moore under some pressure from Clifford, but it's an OHA ball here.
Well, I think that's what Adam Clifford's got to do. Sometimes he's got to mix it up a little bit and rush out and see if he can put some pressure on Simon Moore, force the error. He's got to mix it up a little bit. I think being aggressive against the OHA defence will pay off.
Jocelyn looking for Close, falling over, not a good option. Moore, Clifford, out comes the goalkeeper Williams again, and this time it pays off.
Well, again, Simon Moore there on screen. Unfortunately for him, fell over at the wrong time. Aaron Williams had to cover for him.
Sproul tried to work it to Edwards. Kaiser wants an option. Umpire Poke says an OHA ball here.
This is where OHA have got to send some of their players higher. They've got too many people back in the back half, and if they get people forward, it forces the University front line to drop away a little bit, give them some more space.
So McCambridge has the pace. Demden, though, gets there and saves the day for Uni. Whacked in by McCambridge. They'll have to do it again. Sam McCambridge recovered very quickly from a nasty blow to the face early in the game. Salt. Dispossessed. Jocelyn. Now Clifford gets around. They're starting to break for him. Skillful stuff. Gillespie, Murgatroyd. Ollie Close inside the circle. Big chance for Uni here. Ollie, how's the reverse? He goes on his four-stick. Still a chance here, Ollie Close, and cleared away. That's better from Simon Moore. Ward. Uni applying lots of pressure here. Clifford. And deflected by Salt out of play.
Well, Daniel Sproul, if I was the coach, and I'm sure he probably would have seen it because he was running alongside Dylan Salt. Dylan Salt got turned over inside the attacking 25 and did not work hard enough to get back inside the defensive 25. And he allowed Ollie Close all that time because he didn't get on his bike to get back there and do his job. So I would have thought that Daniel Sproul probably reminding him, it's okay for you to go forward, but if you get turned over, you must get on your bike and get back inside that defensive 25. He was too slack.
Here is Salt. Good stuff there from Bolton. Dispossessed Simon Clifford. Got to go alone here. And wins a free hit for himself.
This is an important play, this. The attacking circle free hits are almost as important as penalty corners. Teams now work on set plays.
Edwards crashed it in there. Not a good outlet, and a shot by David Wolford. A wide ball.
Some confusion as to whose free hit that should have been. Daniel Sproul talking to Dean Williams and saying that should have been an OHA's ball. Here's David Wolford, takes the shot, and Daniel saying that it took a deflection off a University defender. Doesn't matter. Back in play now.
Nick Clifford gets back. Uses his brother Simon Clifford. Works it to Gillespie, and Gillespie puts it out. Tom Pritchard on for OHA. They made a mess of that OHA, and again, a long ball from University.
a lot of play down OHA's right side. Understandable, I suppose, when you think that Daniel Sproul's playing that side. They need to give some thought to mixing it up just a little bit more, I would have thought.
Moore, John O'Salt. Pritchard on the right. Wants to transfer. Play goes on, surely. The helmets must have been called for.
Yeah, and I think Tony Murgatroyd's saying, well, I've nearly had my head taken off. Why isn't it dangerous? And so he's yelled a bit of abuse at the umpire, Josh Poke. And he's about to get a card for that, I would have thought. Josh is working out what colour it is at the moment, whether it's going to be green or whether it's going to be yellow. Oh, I'll give him the green.
I'd be giving him a helmet as well, Macca.
Well, that's right. And I think Josh is making the poke, making the point to him at the moment. It's all right, I understand where you're coming from. Don't keep talking to me, otherwise I will change the colour. He's a good umpire, Josh Pope. Ex-Tassie Tigers player as well, so he understands the game. Umpires are instructed nowadays that to limit the amount that they do blow the whistle, and if it's not really dangerous, not to blow it. But I think it would be fair to say that Murgatroyd had to avoid it, and so therefore it was dangerous.
Well, we've already seen one player hit the deck after being hit in the chin with the ball. And Murgatroyd lucky not also to have hit the canvas today.
Well, and I think that's evidence of the skill level of these two teams compared to the top two, which is Derwent versus Northwest Grads. And you don't see as much of these sort of what you would call skill errors in Northwest Grads and Derwent, whereas in this game we're seeing a fair bit of it.
A wry smile on the face of Daniel Sproul. He puts it inside the circle. Down low, Ward. Close. Combines with Jocelyn. Adam Clifford. Nice ball. Releases Jocelyn. Now Murgatroyd.
Oh, good posting. Good posting up opportunity there. Well executed by University. Posting up being they trap the front player, traps the ball and bunts it back to the running player in support. You see that often in AFL football.
Bit like a give and go, Macca.
That's it. Give and go. I might even use that, Alistair.
Pritchard.
Oh, they used to use that in my days, the give and go, Alistair, so we don't like to use those terms anymore.
Outdated.
Outdated.
Out with the old, in with the new.
That's
in with
it.
Posting up and
with
3D play.
Yeah, we've got to invent all these new words.
The boner.
Yeah, it keeps the coach important, you see.
Now here is Kaiser for OHA. Hurst. It's going back Uni's way. Clifford, dangerous. Cuts back beautifully. In some space. Wanted to find Ollie close. Will get a penalty corner anyway.
And I think that's a key example of what University are trying to set up. They're trying to really get at Simon Moore. Adam Clifford, good trap and drag. He's been able to eliminate Simon Moore and force a penalty corner by finding the foot of Tom Pritchard inside his defensive circle. So good opportunity here for University.
They're 1 from 1. Gillespie goes again, and again it's the same result. University out by 2 goals now, and things are looking up.
Well, I think University might have done their homework. They've really worked on putting some pressure via the hit on OHA. But the interesting thing there is that it looked to me as if Jonathan Salt was slightly in front of Aaron Williams, and it's come off his stick. Now, the question is, should he be making that trap or letting it hit the foot of the goalkeeper and then mopping it up? But maybe the previous penalty corner, he felt there was a need for him to get in there and make contact, otherwise it would have rebounded onto Adam Clifford. So maybe that was the reason why he was a bit shy.
3-1 now, and that's after OHA scored the opening goal of the game.
Well, Alistair, at this point in time, I'm looking forward to seeing Ange after the game, taking her money.
How much did you have on it again, Macca? I think it was one of those silent bets, wasn't it, that our viewers didn't get to hear, but it was at least a pineapple, wasn't it?
Well, whatever she says, we'll double.
Demden. Works it up slowly and now decides to try and clear it.
I'm feeling a little bit nervous, I must say, about my money. I'm a bit disappointed with the way OHA is playing at the moment. I just don't think they've got enough pressure on up front, and I'd have to say, yes, I think my prediction might have been a bit premature, but nonetheless, I'm sticking with it.
Good on you, Ange. Never back away from a prediction. Still plenty of time to go in this game, and with exciting players on both sides, OHA with the likes of McCambridge and, of course, Sproul can create anything. You can't discount them.
Well, there again was an example where University were happy to send the long ball to Ollie Close because he was one out against Simon Moore. It's becoming a bit of a trend in the game.
Sproul knocked it on for Edwards.
Loose. It was a bit loose from Jeremy Edwards in the middle there. I'm not quite sure that he knew where his second pass was.
He's got it back though, Edwards. Moore, Pritchard, and Bolton's there as well. Cuts back to the right. Murgatroyd read it well. Ollie Close. Clifford.
Good work from Ollie Close running on those angles then. Opens up the opposition defence.
Switches on here. Nice ball from Clifford. Murgatroyd, those hamstrings stretched, but just couldn't quite get to there.
Well, I'm quite pleased today to see Anthony Murgatroyd doing the work rate that he is. 1 minute he's making a tackle inside the defensive 25. Next minute he's busting to get forward to trap the through ball. So if we had the GPS on him today, Alistair, I reckon his results wouldn't be too bad at the moment.
Here's another big chance for University. And they couldn't knock it on. It was Hurst running towards that right post.
Here we see Hurst gives a quick ball. It's released quickly by, I think it's Jocelyn and Ollie Close. He wanted it in front of him rather than behind. Sometimes that's a timing issue.
Wolford took them on, but he must have...
Wolford's got to be careful. He's going to get a card if he keeps going the way he's going. He's continuing to keep talking. You're losing focus now.
Salt. Moore. Prepared to hang off him. And now they make the interception. Salt wanted it out of there.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for OHA, again, that was too easy for University. They were able to turn over the pass from Simon Moore out of deep defence, and really it was an opportunity to go on begging for University.
Simon Clifford. Cambridge decided to go over and give him a hurry up.
Well, he's been a bit quiet, Sam Cambridge, so far in this first half. I would have thought that he needs to have a greater involvement in the play. He's working hard but not getting a great deal of reward at the moment for it.
Demden. Sproul uses it well. Can he create something here for OHA? Edwards looks up, decides to go himself.
Down the corner. Yeah, untidy tackle. Anthony Murgatroyd actually got eliminated and still went about making a tackle from behind, and then he took the stick out of the hands of Jeremy Edwards. Good right to left drag, now good left to right, and you can see how he's both on the ground, Anthony Murgatroyd, plus he takes the stick. Looks like Murgatroyd's now complained to the umpire Dean Williams, and the Dean Williams has just told the technical bench 5 minutes talking. See that little signal? He's telling the bench and he's talking to the other players, talking to Daniel Sprout, saying that time for a card. Looks like David Wolford might have got a card as well, and now it looks like as if Dean Williams has taken the penalty corner off OHA. So both teams at the moment losing some focus and being a bit undisciplined.
Bit ragged. Uni charge forward again. It's coming back though.
So both teams now, Alistair, down to 10 players. Wolford sitting on the bench, and we've got Murgatroyd sitting on the bench as well, or the sin bin as we like to sometimes term it.
Edwards comes through the middle of them, then cuts to the left. No options though. And Adam Clifford robbed him of it. Moore though.
Well, this has the hallmarks of getting a little bit fiery now because both teams are getting a little bit undisciplined, and the umpires are trying to stamp it out by giving cards. Sometimes it takes another card or so to stop it totally, so we'll see who's the first one to get the next card.
Umpire Poke, not happy with where the free was taken from. Jocelyn. Clifford. Now Nick Clifford. Hurst inside the circle. Adam Clifford here. Williams up. Chance for a follow-up from Ward, and he puts another goal on the board.
Well, the OHA defence, it looked as if it was a bit easy getting through them there. So the ball spilled off Adam Clifford, and it's really Aaron Williams there that's been caught, and probably hasn't been alert enough. And Ward, in a good position, got himself forward as a flank halfback, and it gets the return because the ball spills. As a flank halfback, he's where he needed to be, and calmly and composed, he put the ball straight into the net. So he did a good job then.
Well, the OHA defence has been leaking a lot of goals in recent weeks. They were beaten 8-1 in their last outing by Northwest, and there could be more for University here. And there is. Adam Clifford gets his second goal for the afternoon, and OHA has gone from looking the goods 1-0 to being pumped 5-1.
Well, and it's just sort of little errors. You know, again, the defence weren't set up properly. They weren't positioned well. They weren't marking the players from the correct side. Daniel Sproul's looking on at these deep defence and saying, well, what do we need to do here? And it's a question of defenders getting into the right position. You know, and at times, it's almost as if their zones aren't set up properly. They're out of position, and this is where they're being exposed. Not only are they making errors, but they're also out of position and not marking from the correct positions, and so they're paying the price at the moment for it.
One, though, by Pritchard. They need a goal, to say the very least, OHA. At the moment, it's University coming forward in waves.
Good presenting there by Adam Clifford. Didn't make the trap, but again now here's an opportunity for University to put the full press on the OHA defence, asking them to come out of a dangerous situation. There'll probably be a big whack.
McCambridge needs to have some influence here. We've seen him score big bags of goals in the past. Edwards may have to go back and get it himself. Here comes University, close. Bowen gets through. Salt. Adam Clifford. Another chance for Hurst to finish off the easiest of goals, and this is just a procession for University.
Well, and it continues to be a number of errors. Another mistrap followed by another mistrap. The ball deflects into an opponent. Here we'll see where the ball just sort of is mistrapped. Bang, there it is, and it falls to a University forward, and it's really just an easy finish. See, there's the deflection, there's the mistrap, and he knocks it right into a position for Hurst just to easily put the ball into the net. And there's really not a great deal that Aaron Williams can do about that, but really defensively at the moment, they're just untidy.
No sign of any respite at all. University full of confidence, full of running, and they're putting the score on the board. Here's another chance. Ward again. Who's there this time to get it in the back of the net? This is ridiculous. University scoring goals left, right and centre. Looks like Gillespie scored his second.
Well, you can see what happens when you start to get a bit of tone about you, and this is the right half. This is a flank halfback, and he's working himself forward inside to the attacking area, drawing defenders from OHA towards him, which creates, basically free men for University inside their attacking circle. So really at the moment, they're the ones who've just got the purpose about them. They're really working hard, possessing the ball much better now, and really capitalising on some really soft errors by OHA.
McCambridge wants to get on with it. Bolton. McCambridge goes inside the circle. OHA ball, says Dean Williams. Edwards. Moore's run forward, but now trots back. Edwards puts it inside the circle. There's a goal to OHA, and it looks like Tom Pritchard scored it.
Yes, Warwick Oliver came off his line, but the ball spilled, wasn't controlled, and onto it first was an OHA player rather than a University defender. And so he loses possession there, drops in behind him, I think it was Ward, and missed trap. So again, a goal comes from a mistake by a defender, and so OHA get one of many more that they need.
7-2, one-sided scoreline. At least something for OHA to take into half-time there.
Interesting to see that Daniel Sproul now has moved himself back into defence. I think he's trying to stop the bleeding in some regards.
And there is half-time, and John O'Salt can rightfully look a bit bemused, a bit miffed at the last 10 minutes or so, because the goals were flying in there left, right and centre from University. In the last 5 minutes, University scored 4 goals, and they lead 7-2 at half-time. Daniel Sproul, he's got so much experience. He's been such a wonderful player, Macca. What can he say to the troops at half-time?
Well, I mean, as we've seen, so many of the goals have come from just silly errors, mistakes, and that you really can't coach for apart from on the training pitch. But what he should be able to do is to say to his defenders, but part of the problem is that we've been out of position. We haven't had good zonal set up defensively, and because of that, we're getting there late, which is meaning that we are making those errors. And so I think they, in many regards, need to fix the structure of their deep defence, and you know, they're missing someone with real leadership and match experience. A person like Sean Carey to get people in the right positions, and really I think it's a good move for Daniel Sproul to put himself back into the defence so that he can give some structure.
Well, OHA leads possession, penetrations narrowly in favour of University, shots on goal. Wow, 10-4 and the score 7-2. University has really made it count. They were just running forward in waves at the end, and the defensive OHA just leaking so badly. We might be able to get down into the OHA huddle and listen to what Daniel Sproul has to say shortly. Let's get to some highlights first, and there were many for University. It was Hurst who got the first goal. Rather, it was Mackie who got the first goal for OHA to start the game, and we thought, well, maybe they're going to be on today, OHA, but then it was all yellow and it was all heading to the right of screen, and Clifford got one of his 2 goals for the half. University were completely on song. You put it to them at the start of the game, Macca. You must have liked what you've seen so far.
Well, I have, but I think it took them a little while to get started, but it's good to see Adam Clifford getting in there with some urgency, and this has been a problem for OHA all year, their penalty corner defence, and it's something that they need to continue to improve throughout the year. And, really it's these little errors, little mistraps like that, and then the ball spills onto an easy Ward overlapping for University, and it's just been, unfortunately in some regards, it's almost been comical, some of the goals that have been scored against OHA, just through simple, silly little errors, and marking from the wrong side like that. I mean, Jonathan Salt there, marking from the wrong side, the ball spills in, who's in there pouncing on it first with the real urgency and tone about them? It's University versus the OHA defence, at times a little bit passive, not marking from the right position either.
A nice finish there from Tom Pritchard, some consolation heading into half-time for OHA, but pretty disappointing. It's Zane Wright who's talking to the troops at half-time.
Physical presence, up front or at back. We need to assert that authority and have a little bit of pride about ourselves. If we want to go out in the second half and just go through the motions, we may as well walk away now, because what's the point of being out there? We've scored 1 goal in that last 5 minutes, and that's great, but we need to take that first 10 minutes and put that back into the start of the second half. Okay, Daniel?
Hey guys, I mean it's very disappointing at the back when we're standing and watching like guys run past us. I'm not blaming the defence solely, but it's just everyone needs to run and get back, myself included, okay? It's not good enough that we have like a 3-on-1 at the back. It's not fair on us at the back, okay? And it's unacceptable. It's about time we talked about before the game, stepping up and showing what you can do, okay? So the second half is what you have to do, okay? Get out there and have a go, guys, okay? Don't keep your heads down and start bloody, sulking. Let's get out there, start fresh, and get back to the way we played in the first 10 minutes, okay? It's up to everyone, and I mean everyone, to get out there and have a good go, okay?
Those eyes of Daniel Sproul tell a story. He knows it's unacceptable from his team, and really what he said is a fair point. Aaron Williams hasn't stood a chance back there in the goals.
Well, I think he's picked on two things that we were talking about in the first half. One was we picked an example of where Dylan Salt had gone forward inside the attacking 25, got turned over, and then basically just sort of jogged and sort of walked all the way back. Now, what's happened there is Daniel Sproul has said, in effect, to Dylan Salt, if you're going to go forward, that's fine, but from now on, you make sure you get back really quickly. And I think he's picked on a very good point. He's been able to demonstrate it by saying that it is a cause and effect is now we've got a 3-on-1 against our deep defence, which is not good enough. And he's spoken about making sure that we get some structure. And Zane's first point was about making sure we have some authority and have some purpose about us inside our defensive area. So, in effect, what's happened is both Zane and Daniel, as you would expect, being very experienced players, both having played for Australia, have been spot on with what they've said to the team, and they're now demanding for them to pick up what they do defensively.
Angie Ockenden, I imagine it's a very different mood in the university huddle.
Well, absolutely. Rod Clifford basically used words like, this is what I've dreamed of, this is what I've hoped for. You know, he was praising of his players in that they were playing with confidence and that they were finally doing things together as a team. But he was mindful of the fact, before he gave too much praise, that they have another 35 minutes, and he said the test is for them to be consistent and to put it together for another 35 minutes. His criticism before the start of the game was that they aren't consistent and that they do fall away. So that was the test for them, is to continue on. Personally, I just hope OHA can start making a bit more of a game of it, really.
Good on you, Ange. I do too, because we've seen some great performances from OHA over the years. They're capable of turning it on, but I think one thing that we've also seen from them, Macca, is a real level of inconsistency.
Yeah, it's the skill errors really that's been letting them down. And as I said before, it's the cover defence and the structure, and I think Daniel's done the right thing now to shift himself back to defence to try and stop the bleeding.
I guess on the counter though, Macca, what that also does is, I mean, it's 7-2 down. You're obviously not much of a chance to win the game, but with Daniel Sproul having to go deep defence, it's going to make it hard to score goals as well.
Well, that's right, but as you said earlier, they scored 4 goals in a spate of 5 minutes, so really it's the next 5 minutes that he needs to make sure he does his job.
Just calm it down.
Just calm it down, get some, pass on some experience to the deep defenders with structure and calling and positioning, and see if they can build from there.
What have you made of Adam Clifford's performance today? I've seen him not only scoring goals, but he's been heavily involved in the creating of goals with his pressure and his tenacity as well. Well,
the first 15 minutes I would have thought he was a bit slow, a bit sloppy with some of his receiving skills, and he really didn't have much of an impact. But then he burst onto the scene with some good finishes. He had some alertness about him inside the attacking areas, and so he's really picked up his game.
Gillespie releases Adam Clifford. Should be able to get back and gather, and he does. Works it towards the circle, and Dylan Salt allows it to go out. Been no shortage of goals in the men's competition this season.
Wasn't deliberate, that hit then, and that's the reason why the umpire lets it go. But if intentionally you lift the ball in the air, it used to be called a chip shot. If you do that intentionally, umpires will blow it against you. So that they basically brought that rule in to stop players hitting the ball from one end to the other end in the air, and it became dangerous. Plus also, players weren't developing their skills in the middle of the field. Jim Irvine, the ex-captain and vice-captain of the national team many years ago, was very good at it.
Adam Clifford, dangerous on his reverse and patted down by Williams with the hand. Never a pretty sight for a goalkeeper to look behind and see the ball in the back of the net, and Williams has seen it too many times this afternoon.
Well, that was an interesting picture of Aaron Williams. A minute ago you saw his helmet, and he basically had the sun right into his eyes. And what some goalkeepers actually do is they place a bit of tape or a bit of strapping tape. You see how he's put his glove up there to shade his eyes? If you look at Warwick Oliver, the other goalkeeper, he had some strapping tape above his helmet, which is basically another level of trying to protect his eyes. But I noticed that Aaron Williams hasn't done that. See the tape? Look at the tape on the top of Warwick Oliver. He's done that to make sure that his eyes have got that little bit extra of shade, like a peak cap, whereas Aaron Williams hasn't done it. So really, this is where, being professional, Aaron Williams probably should have that tape on his helmet right now.
Would they ever consider wearing sunglasses, mate?
I think the danger there obviously is that sometimes, you know, if they get hit by a stick or someone collides into them, that they might fall off inside their helmet, and the stick probably could poke its way through that sort of helmet mask, if you want to call it that. So they don't tend to wear them at all. I'm not even sure if they're allowed to wear them in the rules.
I think it was one World Cup going back a number of years in the cricket, and remember being amused to see Arjuna Ranatunga, the Sri Lankan captain, coming out to bat with some sunnies on, and Sam McCambridge was in a position to nearly score a much needed goal for OHA there. He put it over the bar. John O'Salt, McCambridge couldn't get onto it. Simon Clifford, Gillespie, Salt, a fresh air shot. Sproul uses Dylan Salt, who's got more on. Elects to go to Pritchard. Now more.
Well, I must admit, Alistair, I look forward to the day when you are calling a Sri Lankan cricket game and getting through all the different names. I'd bet that would be worth just listening to the game and hearing how you go and cope with all the different names.
Well, I've had some good practice with names like Williams, which you told me was the correct pronunciation, yet still persist with Williams because you can't be bothered.
That's it, that's right.
Even though you tell me your Dutch is very good.
Yes, queer duck to all our Dutch listeners. That means good day.
Good day. I hear you had a couple of good days in Tarraleah recently.
Yes, in Tarraleah, a beautiful place in Tasmania. Very nice. TIS strategic planning weekend, midweek, and it was a very nice place.
And Madam Lash, is she still there?
I don't know about that. I think the Highlander Arms is a very nice place.
Good trout fishing up that way, Macca. Here's Jocelyn.
And he was lurking too, Ollie Close. He's known for getting those sorts of deflections. Notice that, again, the vision's even hard for him as well because of the sun. Couldn't quite see the ball under his stick. Jeremy Edwards, not happy.
Now Nick Clifford's going to take it. Sproul posts up, but this time he wasn't posting up to find a teammate. He wanted it out of there.
Well, that was interesting, actually, because, again, that ball was hit easily into the defensive circle. And, again, that says to me that, really, they didn't have the right zonal set up defensively. Really, they shouldn't be able to, University shouldn't be able to hit a ball so easily into OHA's defence.
And there's a penalty corner to University.
Well, this will be a very big test now for Aaron Williams because that sun is going to cause him massive problems.
Here's a look at the replay, and just a bit messy there from OHA, but you can see that Williams has the hand up above the face. He's now talking to his players, and when he turns around you can probably guarantee that that hand's going to go back up at some point.
Well, this is a bit of a rarity for OHA. Daniel Sproul inside the defence on penalty corner.
Gillespie went the slap shot, now the reverse, and Clifford was there.
Oh, I love watching Daniel on penalty corner defence. He got in there and he put his body on the line. The first thing that made contact with the opponent was his body. He wasn't too keen on getting hurt, but at the same time he was making sure life was difficult for his opponent.
John O'Salt.
I mean, really, Alistair, when you look at OHA, unfortunately, they haven't been able to get another defender. That's what they're missing. Good desperation there. A little bit of tension that's still there. Warwick Gillespie, letting Dylan Salt know about it.
Ward couldn't keep it in. Pritchard scored that goal just before half-time. Moore uses Dylan Salt.
Yeah, Hurst was a bit slack then for University. Should have been in position earlier then. That's probably something that Rodney Clifford will talk to him about. He shouldn't be allowed to have those sorts of transfers through midfield. He was spectating.
Edwards knocks it on. That was pretty rash there from Wolford.
Well, the ball was there, so he thought, right, it's worth having a crack at, but made contact with the opponent's stick. Matt Demden just here goes for the ball. He made first contact, but he was halfway through his swing. I would have thought David Wolford there. Good umpiring from Josh Polk.
Simon Clifford. Demden. Even with a new face in that defence, they've looked more settled, University. Sproul. Pritchard can't keep it in.
Well, that's poor, really. Shouldn't have been. No reason to lose possession there. That's just a skill error. And the opportunity there, too, was the ball would have gone to Tom Pritchard. And what could have happened is that Daniel Sproul could have just overlapped then and got the ball back. So a quick 1-2, and he was away.
Edwards transfers. Dylan Salt. Wolford drifted off his man, but Salt's going to go down the right by himself.
Yeah, good holding up tackle there from Warwick Gillespie. Almost a professional foul there. Just all he wanted to do was to stop the play.
Edwards, good stuff. Here's a chance. This would be something special. He dives, desperate stuff. He may have got a stick in the face. It results in a goal, and that's your goal, Jeremy Edwards. He's got a nasty blow. I think he's been hit in the face with a stick here. It resulted in a goal to OHA. And they're calling for the trainers pretty quickly. This doesn't look great.
No, it doesn't, because I think in the end what happened was his desperation was he really went for the ball at the University defender. I think it might have been Ward. Basically what he's done is he's just had a bit of a swing at it. And these are one of the nasty ones that you don't like to see. This will not be a nice one, unfortunately.
Let's have another look at it, Macca.
Well, really good drag. And see how the ball spills?
Oh.
And he's just copped it there. And it's a little bit careless, so it looks like he's got it above his right eye. And I think probably the good thing is that it's above that area, hasn't involved his teeth, hasn't involved his jaw, so it's more than likely going to be a little bit of a laceration, a couple of stitches, and let's hope that that's all it is.
Well, he's come off worse for wear there, Jeremy Edwards, but I tell you what, he's earned some serious points in terms of setting an example for his team. That was wonderful desperation. It resulted in a goal. There's no questioning that that goal should go down under the name Jeremy Edwards. And Daniel Sproul would be asking a few of his other players to step up in a similar fashion.
Well, I think the positive there too is that, you know, he is a player that certainly is emerging. I had an email during the week actually from Ken Reid, who's the assistant coach at the Tassie Tigers, saying that he'd seen him play midweek and he had played very well and thought he was quite accomplished at centre half. So, you know, he's a player who did well at the under-18s. I'm not sure that I'm too keen on the hairstyle, but apart from that, he's a very talented player and he showed very good courage there. But in some regards, the defender then was probably just a little bit sort of slack, and you can't sometimes expect that a player is going to show that much courage and actually dive for it, and that probably caught, unfortunately for Ward, it probably caught him by surprise.
We might try and have another look at the replay and see who actually scored the goal, because I was so focused on Jeremy Edwards I didn't actually see who put it away in the end.
Well, I think the focus really there is just on Jeremy Edwards at the moment, and you can see where he's grabbing just above his right eye. So more than likely, might be a couple of stitches. This could hurt OHA as well, just as they're starting to build some ascendancy. To lose a player of his standard, put some pressure on their bench now as well.
Well, I think while he's gone off the field, Macca, he's left his teammates with now an obligation to display a little bit more desperation.
Well, I think the other thing that Edwards does for OHA is he does give penetration. He's one of the few players in their team that can really run through opposition defenders.
And here's another chance for OHA. A penalty corner awarded. So this would, if they can put this in the back of the net, that would really give them some renewed confidence.
And this is the worrying problem for coach Rod Clifford of University. You know, in the first half they were all over OHA and playing pretty well, and now it's almost as if University have just sort of taken the foot off the pedal a little bit sloppy in defence. They're not the one that's first to the ball, and really it's given OHA a bit of a sniff.
Now the second goal, or the goal, get to that in a moment. Here's the shot. Down they go. They need a follow-up here. Another penalty corner. And that goal that was scored previously was Tom Pritchard again. So He's now scored 2 goals for the afternoon.
Well, this was a good opportunity for David Wolford. You see there, again, you've got, I think it's Adam Clifford on the post behind the goalkeeper. Now, once the ball's been hit and rebounded, you need to be off really, really quickly. And Ward was too high, so he couldn't do much about it. So, in some regards, Warwick Oliver isn't getting a great deal of protection when the ball comes off his pads at the moment.
Nice faking, and there's another goal to OHA. They have responded here in the second half. Fantastic stuff. And we do have a game again.
Well, it's good to see OHA getting goals in penalty corners. Obviously, they've spent a bit of time working on their variations. Good little dummy there. And you know that man, Daniel Sproul, is going to be able to find the target. It's really just a question as to whether or not OHA can convert it. Angus Bolton in there at the right spot at the right time.
7 goals to 4 makes it a bit more interesting. It was 7-2 at half-time. Dembden. There's a definite scoring end this afternoon, Macca.
Yes, I think you're right.
Here's Bolton again. This time University comes away. Clifford, though, back to where he started the game off.
Transfer of play, often important when teams are playing half-court hockey, which is what University are doing in effect at the moment. All their numbers are behind the ball and to the side of where the ball is. So some good opportunity to transfer the ball around the back. That's what OHA is looking to do.
It's good stuff from Moore there. He showed some commitment. Gillespie. University. Repelled again. This looks a lot better for OHA. Knocked on.
Yeah, and the problem there for University is that Sam Cambridge was able to receive that ball being unmarked. And it's really just a question for University now to address these problems defensively. And they've gone through a patch now of about 10 or 15 minutes where they haven't done that properly.
Hurst and Pritchard. No, it's Hay. Hay for OHA. Comes away with it. Hurst went again, though, and Dean Williams awards OHA the free. It was certainly a strong aspect of their game in the first half, Macca, was just the pressure of University. And as you say, this half, OHA able to spend a little bit more time on the ball without similar pressure.
Well, it's interesting that Angie was talking about at half-time how Coach Rod Clifford had said he wanted consistency. Well, at the moment, he hasn't had it.
A few OHA players just having a bit of trouble keeping their feet. Murgatroyd leaves it. Dembden takes it. And that's not good stuff. Can't afford to make mistakes when OHA is on a bit of a ascent here.
Again, the ploy from OHA, transfer the ball around the back, eliminate and bypass the half-court hockey played by University. It's giving them some real opportunities inside the attacking 25.
Bolton's creative here. Can he work a penalty corner or work it to a dangerous position?
Well, that's probably another area for University at the moment. They've been a bit slack. They've missed a few tackles inside the defensive area. For example, that goal that was scored by Pritchard, which was created by Edwards in the middle. Defenders need to tackle well in those situations.
Cambridge loses it. Adam Clifford, Ollie Close. Moves it on quickly. Sproul.
Good little dummy there from Daniel Sproul. I'm not sure if you would have seen that, but he just balked his body as if to say, look, I'm going to really have a crack at this one. And it put Adam Clifford into two minds, so he held off. That's just experience, that is.
Here's Hay. Ward. Had the right idea, but just couldn't take the ball with him. Jocelyn works it back.
Tackle from behind there by Sam Cambridge.
Good ball. Here's Hurst running onto it. Salt's there to pressure him. Hurst gets around. Salt puts the ball out of play.
Again, another example of the OHA defenders not being alert. Hurst was able to lead in behind Jonathan Salt then and pick up the through ball. And you can see how the Jonathan Salt's made contact with Hurst as he went past him, looking for a penalty corner but not awarded.
Umpires confer, and they don't concur because Dean Williams has overturned Josh Polk's decision, and it will be an OHA ball.
A little bit of helpful umpiring by Daniel Sproul as well, the viewers might have heard.
That stun is still a problem for Aaron Williams. The whole pitch is bathed in sunshine. Cameraman doing a good job today. Wolford ran across the front.
Yeah, that's a little bit sloppy there by Mackie.
Bowen works it on for close. Mackie applying the pressure. Uni May have just absorbed that little push from OHA at the start of this half. Pritchard.
Ollie Close is one of those players, Alistair, that whenever he touches the ball or is about to make contact with the ball, he has this unique habit of poking his tongue out. And every time he goes near the ball, when he's about to make a pass, the tongue pokes out. And he's copped a little bit over that in the last few years.
Well, there seem to be a few of those types in all sorts of sports. There's Brad Hogg in the cricket. There's, I remember Nigel Kellett, number 4 for Footscray. He used to do it when he was running to kick the ball.
And good play there from Sam McCambridge. Again, the university defenders not stepping out of their defensive circle. Had Simon Clifford have stepped out of his defensive circle, he may well have only given away a free hit rather than the penalty corner. And often coaches, that's what they ask defenders to do. Step out of your defensive circle and meet your opponent higher rather than inside your defensive circle.
Well, if this goes in, Macca, your pineapple isn't looking as good as it once was. Here's a big chance. And there was a foot there, so they'll do it all again.
More than comfortable at the moment. Looking forward to seeing Ange after the game.
I'm sure she'll be looking forward to seeing you if this comeback from OHA continues.
So the foot there of a university defender on the rebound from Warwick Oliver. So OHA awarded another penalty corner.
Ready? Go!
This is their 5th. They've messed it right up here. Salt can shoot though. He does. It ricochets around. Came off a university player. Jocelyn's stick, I think. And it will be an OHA ball.
Good acceleration from Dylan Salt, though. He used the space pretty well. We could see he was pretty intent on doing one thing only, and that was to have a goal shot. He took it quickly.
Demden. Pritchard looking for Salt.
Well, it's positive that Jeremy Edwards for OHA is still sitting on the bench, so I take it he'll probably be taking a trip to hospital after the game, but it doesn't require that he has to go immediately, so that's probably one positive for him.
I wonder if we can get Angie Ockenden to just provide us with an update on the condition of Jeremy Edwards shortly. Murgatroyd. Bowen. Clifford's there and dangerous. It bobbles up for him. It's off his foot though, and OHA certainly playing with a lot more pride in the second half.
Oh, good little dummy trap there. Daniel Sproul covers well.
Pritchard has scored a couple of goals for OHA. Here's the man who scored the first goal of the afternoon back in the 6th minute, Mackie. Uni again.
Oh.
Sproul gave it straight to Jocelyn though. Now they're on here, University. Bowen's a chance. Close now. Goalkeeper's out. And it is a stroke to University, is it? No, a penalty corner.
Well, interesting thing there is the experience of Ollie Close. As soon as he receives this ball, watch how he goes into a mode of protection. He knows the tackle's going to come against him. Watch, bang, picks it up, and now he puts his right foot across to protect it. He's just waiting for the body contact, hoping the umpire gives him a stroke. But I think in the end it was well umpired. I think all it needed to be was a penalty corner. But again, you could see straight away that he was looking at it. There's Jeremy Edwards on screen. Got the ice onto the area where he was hit before.
Murgatroyd, good save. Williams up. Still a chance for Ward. Salt gets across.
Surprised that Murgatroyd went low then, because you would have thought with the sun in the eyes.
Really is getting quite physical, quite heated here now.
Simon Moore and Will Jocelyn talking to one another, but you can see how he's gone low, and the sun really is a problem for Aaron Williams. Dean Williams in the middle of all the players at the moment, telling them to calm down a bit.
Well, plenty of passion still in this game. It was 7-2 at half-time. OHA clearly thinks it's still a chance here. They haven't given up. Still prepared to be physical, take it up to University.
Interesting structure at the moment for University. They've got one player wide, and they're really trying to open it up a little bit.
Good stuff from Jono Salt. Been a marked change in the performance of the OHA players. I think largely triggered by the desperation of Jeremy Edwards. Pritchard goes long. Clifford couldn't trap it. Now OHA can put the press on and try and prevent the ball from coming back out. And they have. Pritchard, McCambridge inside the circle. OHA free. Salt moves it on quickly.
Yeah, that was a bit slack from Will Jocelyn then. He wanted to stand over and talk to the umpires rather than getting into defence and assisting. Sure, Rodney Clifford will probably remind him about what's important in that situation.
McCambridge gets it in there. Kicked away, only as far as Salt. Whistle blown. OHA ball. Still no respite for University.
Dylan Salt and Will Jocelyn still going on with it a little bit.
Jono Salt, or will it be Dylan Salt?
Well, they've got to be careful when they make this play that they're not within 5 yards. You'd hate to see Jonathan Salt run over the ball and then Dylan steps in and he's within that 5.
In it goes. I don't think anyone got anything on it, but Josh Poke has blown a penalty corner here. I'm not quite sure what that was for, Macca.
Well, I think that OHA were complaining that it came off a University defender's foot, but Josh Pope didn't know anything about it. He looked to the other umpire, Dean Williams, and Dean Williams had his hand up to say, well, I don't know, I can't tell. You can see just there, I think it came off the University, the front line there of the defensive circle, came off that defender's foot, and so the right decision has been made. See the guard, so look at the face mask that Adam Clifford's wearing there. That's the new thing at the moment that defenders are starting to wear to try and protect their face. It's a good idea.
Here they go, OHA. Out comes the ball through Ward.
Just had the word on Jeremy Edwards. He hasn't got any cut at all. It's just a rather large bruise on the side of his face, big egg, and doesn't look like he'll be back today.
Thanks for following that up, Ange. Good to see he's okay.
Well, that is good news.
Saw a player in one of the earlier games, Macca, who looked like he'd also been hit in the forehead with a stick and had a really nasty gash, and he had to go off to hospital for a checkup. It is a dangerous game at times, hockey.
Yeah, it can be, but it's basically sometimes these things happen because of poor skills. And, you know, players, when you play the game long enough, you generally know what to avoid, but sometimes, you know, it takes a deflection. There's not much you can do about that, but it's quite rare to see any really serious injuries come from hockey. And, you know, most players wear the appropriate protection, and, you know, we thankfully don't have too many of them happen.
You would think if there were going to be players getting hit with balls with regularity, it would be at penalty corner plays, and you don't even see it too often at those, do you?
No, and again, I think it's good to see before that Adam Clifford had the face mask on. And in effect, he was working behind Warwick Oliver, so it's a new thing coming in, and we're always looking for ways to protect players.
Well, that was really clever stuff from Cambridge. Opened it up for Wolford. And Wolford needs to be a little bit careful. Demden goes back to Clifford. Under 10 minutes to go. Still a 3-goal lead to University. Clifford, Gillespie.
Yeah, too much. Really needed to use Will Jocelyn then. Should have continued the transfer of play through the other side. Will Jocelyn was in there free.
Cambridge has a play to the left. Can he get it there? He found the foot of the University player. Pritchard's got it now. Can they work another goal here, OHA? Defence stands tall for University.
Good keeping there from Warwick Oliver.
OHA leading percentage of possession 56 to 44 now.
Yeah, good bit of protection then from Warwick Oliver as well by the University defender. Ooh, nasty tackle there from Sam Cambridge, I think it was. Got dispossessed and then quickly turned around and swung his stick. It's lucky that that's not a yellow. And we might just see it here. And so he loses possession and bang, see that little crack around? That's what you're not allowed to do, because if it didn't hit the stick of Nick Clifford, it could have collected his foot or it collected his knee, and that would have been a nasty injury. So umpires don't like to see that, and when they do, they often give cards.
Moore. Down the right-hand side he goes. No one there. Close to Clifford, who's gone out of the game a bit. Stick from John O'Salt puts the ball out of play. There is time for OHA, but they'd need a similar run of goals to the run University got going towards the end of this first half.
Adam Clifford wearing the captain's band around his arm.
Sproul uses more, gets it back. Jocelyn.
Oh, well done. Good play there for Murgatroyd. He's been very good at that throughout his whole career. Quick little one-time bunt onto the running player, which was Ollie Close.
Uni ball.
Yeah. Murgatroyd looking for the penalty corner there. Passed the ball into Daniel Sproul's foot, but the umpire said no, wanted everyone to be 5 first.
Gillespie moved it on straight away. No one seemed to be aware of what he was doing, maybe blinded by the sun, and Warwick Gillespie's got another goal on the board, and that may be a hat-trick for Gillespie.
Well, and Aaron Williams really just hadn't covered the line. He was too late to cover that line, and it's almost as if he might have been blinded a little bit initially and didn't see the pass being made, and then he's got there too late and just hasn't covered it well enough. So we talk about goalkeepers' arcs around the net, and he wasn't positioned well on his goalkeeping arc then, and unfortunately for OHA, some would say that was a soft goal to concede.
Gillespie. Jocelyn. Too much on it. Well, University has well and truly now absorbed the challenge of OHA. Ward. Pritchard's in there for OHA. Stolen. Hurst. Murgatroyd wants to move it quickly. In the end, he leaves it for Ward, who gives to Murgatroyd, but Murgatroyd wasn't able to get on the end of it.
Oh, that nearly came off, though. It was a good move from Murgatroyd.
Now bursting out of defence is Moore. Has to check himself in the end.
Yeah, Moore's got to be careful about trying to take players on in that situation, really. He's got to be looking for a pass, or someone has to help him come out of defence in that situation. You don't want defenders taking opposition forwards on.
Sproul was looking for someone in the centre. Uni won the ball back, but hit it forward with gay abandon. The overhead by John O'Salt. McCambridge has the ball. Ward thinks it's his.
Well, I think the umpires have blown that because the University defender was within 5 yards as the OHA forward received it.
Wolford looks for an option.
Ward was complaining that the ball was made dangerous.
And it goes. There's another goal to OHA. McCambridge may have got his first goal for the afternoon. So, while the margin looks completely unreachable.
Well, attacking circle free hits are as important as penalty corners, and that man there, Sam McCambridge, that's one of his real talents. His ability to be able to get away from his opponent. He uses raw acceleration and meets the ball on the angle and is able to deflect it. And that's a real skill, and I'm sure that's something that Coach Daniel Sproul has ensured they've worked on at club trainings midweek, because there's no doubt with Sam McCambridge and his ability, he's so good at it, you want to give him as much opportunity to convert those chances.
Well, victory seems unattainable for OHA, but they're not going away. Daniel Sproul could be reasonably pleased with this fight back in the second half.
Even Daniel Sproul got caught then. Oliver Close lurking in behind him. Had an opportunity to deflect the ball past Aaron Williams.
The ball runs out of play off the stick of Clifford. Simon Clifford, one of the three brothers in this university team. Moore doesn't really see an option he likes. Salt.
Yeah, that happens too often for my liking, OHA. Often when Simon Moore's on the sideline free hits, he takes a fair bit of time to work out where his next pass is going to go. Now, that means a twofold problem, that OHA haven't been positioned correctly, or he's not alert enough.
Wolford on the burst. McCambridge there again. That should be a penalty corner. It is.
Yeah, play was made dangerous by Warwick Oliver. Came up off his pads, and we don't want to see players swing it whilst it's in the air to make it very dangerous. Good little drag, little slip pass, and you can see the ball rebounds up into the air now. Will Jocelyn's had a swing at it, but Sam McCambridge could have as well, and he was just waiting for the umpire to say, yep, the play's been made dangerous, so we've got a penalty corner.
Ready?
This their seventh OHA. Salt's going to shoot. Down goes Oliver. The ball under him. The Uni players now clear it out of defence.
Well, that's better support for the goalkeeper there. We've seen some examples today where there hasn't been the support. You'll find that the ball just goes under Warwick Oliver a little bit and just sits underneath it. But you see there, Will Jocelyn's quick to get to it. But interestingly, there's no OHA player at the moment in there pouncing to try and capitalise on that ball.
Spot on, Macca.
That would be a problem for Daniel Sproul. I'm sure he'll be alert to it and probably talk to his players about it midweek.
Bolton won it back for OHA. Only a couple of minutes to go in this game. So a gallant fight back from OHA that isn't going to bring them any points, but certainly won them my respect, if that counts for anything.
I think it does. Well, no doubt it does.
Mr. Sarcastic next to me.
We'll have you coaching a state team before you know it, Alistair. Don't worry about that.
Well, I'm happy to do it if it means replacing you, Macca. I hear you're on quite a whack.
Yeah, well, that's... Yeah, lovely.
Sproul. Salt. Dylan Salt. Where does he go next?
Good tackle from Nick Clifford then. Nice and low. Found the foot of Dylan Salt.
Demden.
Yeah, it's too easy.
Ward. They can eat up the clock here, University. Simon Clifford follows up. Goes the long ball, a beautiful ball for Ollie Close. Clifford's there. He's surely going to finish this off. Adam Clifford. No, Ollie Close does out of the air. Great stuff, University. Nice way to finish the game.
Well, that was some good skill, and it was about 3 or 4 good passes in a row there, but the through ball started from that. Oliver Close had the vision. He saw Adam Clifford. The ball takes a deflection, but as per usual, Oliver Close, he's always lurking near the post, and he gets another one of his deflection goals.
And there is full time at the Tasmanian Hockey Centre. Has to be said, it was an entertaining game in the end. 9 goals to 5, so no shortage of activity. It was all to one end of the field mainly. And University prevails 9-5 here. You challenged them before the game. Macca said it was a must-win for University. They have delivered, and not without being challenged in the second half.
Well, that's right. I think there was still some inconsistency for University, but they've had a good win, and you have to wonder a little bit what sort of impact losing Jeremy Edwards and how that's hurt OHA, because at that time they were starting to come back pretty hard and had a bit of ascendancy in the play, but unfortunately with him going off it put some pressure on the defenders, and for him unfortunately I'm sure he'll have a headache later today, but it'll be compounded by the fact that the team's lost, but it was a pleasing performance for University.
Here's Angie Ockenden.
Have the captain, Adam Clifford. Adam, fantastic first half. Went off the boil a bit in the second half, but a fantastic goal with 28 seconds to go.
Yeah, I think it was Jock that got the last touch on it, but it's always nice to score a goal, Ange, and we started to string some nice passes together in the first half, but dropped off a little bit in the second half, as you'd expect, being so many goals in front. But we're working on that during the week, but some good signs today.
Yeah, I think so. Rod Clifford was saying before the game that he was concerned about your consistency. You did go off that boil. I think he will talk to you about that, but I thought you played a pretty good game.
Yeah, definitely. We'll no doubt have to do some running during the week for that second half fade out. But we've been putting together some good patches, but the consistency is the difference between Derwent and Northwest grades and ourselves, and that's something we've got to work on. But there's another 11 practice matches until the finals, Ange, so we'll keep working and plugging away.
And you're certainly not a fourth place team.
No, well, I think that win puts us into third position now, and we play Northwest grades after the long weekend, and if we can get a result there, then all of a sudden we can start focusing on the double chance in a top 2 position, if you like.
Well done, and for you, are you heading back to England, and what are your plans? No,
I've come back, and Mum's cooking's been far too good to resist, so I'll be down here this summer, and I'd like to be involved in Macca's Tiger squad if I'm available, if warranted. But I'll be down here and hopefully get the opportunity to play for Tassie again.
Well, we'll watch that with a great deal of enthusiasm. We'll watch Uni's progress, and well done today.
Thanks, Ange. Cheers.
There's Adam Clifford with Angie Ockenden. There is the score. 9-5 was the final score in the end. A good win to University. I was impressed, though, with OHA, Macca, and I'm sure Daniel Sproul would be able to take some positives out of that game.
I think you're spot on. I think there's no doubt that he will get something from today's game. He'll be pleased that they didn't basically just sort of fall over. They kept working really hard. They got some good goals, some good courage from Jeremy Edwards, and really he's got something to build upon, but defensively is probably the issue he's really got to work hard on to fix.
I think Adam Clifford made an interesting comment there. He said that 11 practice games to go until the final, so he clearly thinks that University is a contender this year.
Well, I think that's fair enough. He needs to show that confidence in the team, but it was good to see him. He wants to play for the Tassie Tigers. That's also good, and I'd love to see him working hard, because if he's going to play in the Tassie Tigers and I'm coaching it, I'll be shouting at him, and he's got to be able to work really hard.
Well, I hope you're shouting tonight with the money you've won off Angie Ockenden. Congratulations.
I'll see you in a while.
Sounds good, Macca. We'll have some more hockey for you next week. It's a women's game next week, and it is Prince of Wales in good form at the moment. They'll take on a young, exuberant team in Canterbury, so that to look forward to next week. Thanks for your company on ABC Sport this afternoon. Good to have you as well, Macca, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Alistair.
University.
Well, I think they need to be able to beat OHA. If they're going to, the two form teams at the moment are certainly Northwest Grads and Derwent.